Hi, it's time for another math easy solution to everyone discuss further into the hashtag Vault7 Year Zero video series. And I'm going to go over mainstream media coverage, and I put that in quotation marks, just because if you've seen my earlier videos on anything controversial, you know what I mean by this mainstream media coverage. And and in my last video, make sure to watch that. I went over Vault7 Year Zero, the new WikiLeaks release. But I didn't have time to go over the mainstream media coverage just to show you what they're talking about. Yeah, so I want to do a separate video on that because it's fascinating on its own. So, and like always, just note if you don't have time to watch this whole video, you can skip to the end for summary and conclusions, or play this video at a faster speed. You could also download and read notes. I'll put the link in the description below. And also, you could watch this video in parts. You don't have to watch it all at once, etc. So, let's go over this whole mainstream media coverage. So topics to cover: my previous hashtag Vault7 Year Zero video, just to recap on it, and Vault7 search trends, and 3 mainstream media coverage. So recap on my Vault7 Year Zero video. So I was the first person to tweet about the hidden image behind WikiLeaks Vault7 tweet, and in so doing so, I realized it was about the CIA before anyone else did, so make sure to check that out. So I reviewed the 1966 New York Times investigation of the CIA, and then tied that in with the WikiLeaks press release of their latest WikiLeaks dump. So yeah, I reviewed the WikiLeaks Vault7 release, tied this together, and show you how far we've come over 50 years. So recap the 1966 NY Times investigation of the CIA. The 1966 New York Times investigation over 50 years ago mentioned concerns from many politicians, world leaders, and even former presidents that the CIA was acting as an invisible government. Former President John F. Kennedy, or JFK, was quoted as saying he wanted to splinter the CIA in 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds. NY Times stated that a survey of many insiders concluded that the CIA was not acting out of line but under strict control. But nonetheless, the substance of control was concerning. The CIA itself gives the politicians and overseers the information upon which they decide how to regulate the CIA. So even if you have control of the CIA, they're the one giving you the information to control them. So what if they give you misleading information? So, and also the CIA is the freest, most autonomous, so they're all on its own, and most secret of all intelligence agencies, which requires a level of belief for those that oversee it in the information given to them by the CIA, because it's pretty much like a black box. You don't know what's actually being done. Yeah, you just ask them, and then they get you something back, but you don't know what they did in the process. So recap from the Vault7 Year Zero press release: WikiLeaks released over 8,000 top secret CIA documents they say was leaked by a CIA agent. And quickly I want to add this, or someone with access to one, because they didn't actually say it's specifically an agent, but it was an inside source or a contractor or someone connected. So they didn't disclose exactly what kind of person gave it, but they gave a good idea of it. So concerned about the direction of the CIA was going. So whoever their source was, they did not like the direction CIA was going. These documents are part of WikiLeaks Vault7 series and are the first part of the series labeled and are the first part of the series, and they're labeled Year Zero. These documents account for less than 1% of the total Vault7 series, which means the total amounts to 1 million documents. Some revelations about the CIA capabilities and concerns raised include spying on and controlling phones, computers, TVs, operating systems, cars, planes, etc. Even planes and cars, unbelievable. Manipulating, hacking fingerprints that resemble that of foreign states, governments, or even anyone else to mislead law enforcement. Skype video and audio conversations get automatically transcribed to text and stored in secret CIA servers. So that's a capability that they have. Kept zero-day or hacking vulnerabilities from major companies, including Google, Microsoft, Apple, and others, in order to be able to hack into them. Thus, the CIA purposely compromised the security of millions of people in order to be able to hack them better. It is also possible that large companies work in coordination with the CIA because these tech companies are pretty smart on their own as well, so they might have some way of figuring out if their devices are vulnerable or not. So that's both those are possibilities. So TVs, phones can be put into a fake off mode, which makes the device appear to be turned off, but is actually still in the complete control by the CIA. Unbelievable. So it's like 1984 all over again. So CIA made cyber weapons unclassified in order to use over the internet and can't be claimed ownership by the US government, thus allowing them to be freely pirated by anyone and used by anyone. Unbelievable. So anyone can go and use it now because it's everywhere, and the US government has what they can't do too much about it. And going further, cyber weapons are nothing more than just code or information, and thus can be easily copied and distributed. Foreign governments or even the smart teenage hacker may already have access to these CIA-created cyber weapons and could also hack anyone while masking their presence as if to be coming from another location or person or agency or country. Unbelievable. CIA greatly increased its capacity and developed essentially its own NSA, which makes it even more autonomous and more secret. So they don't need to talk with the NSA. They can just do whatever they need to do that previous years would have required contacting them and sharing some information of what they're actually doing. So over 2,000 IP addresses were targeted within the United States. Keep this in mind. This will come in handy as we go over the media coverage. But were redacted by WikiLeaks until they sort out the types of targets, if they're just people, if they're if there are other specialized targets or even systems, computers, whatever. So to illustrate an example, the following scenario is plausible. The CIA could hack into a smart car, accelerate into a building or off a cliff, thus killing the driver and passenger. In other words, commit undetectable assassinations. That's a capability they have. Another scenario could be the CIA could hack into the president's Twitter account, but make it appear as if the Chinese, while mass as the Russians, were responsible. Hashtag hackception. Unbelievable. So search trends. Just want to go quick search trends on Vault 7, and I put these words in here because these were trending on Twitter. So these were trending, but Vault 7 for me was not trending. I don't know why. I'm always on Twitter. So there's a link to it, retrieved March 11th. This was yesterday. So wiretap. This one wasn't trending. These were trending. I believe this was trending afterwards. So yeah, that was also trending as well, a different time. So Jason Smith, Bruce Chen, Hell Challenge, I've never heard of that in my life. And I put this for reference, wiretap, and there's a Vault 7 in blue. So as you can see, the only thing higher was this wiretap, which is obviously pretty high because mainstream media pushed it. But nonetheless, Vault 7 is still there, and currently, as of yesterday, it was still the highest. Wiretap just goes down because because basically wiretap, when mainstream media doesn't push it, it doesn't do well. But Vault 7, everyone's talking. Well, the alternative media especially, as it is huge. So Vault 7 is relatively highly searched, much higher than some of those terms shown above, which were trending on Twitter on the day of the release, but not Vault 7. So these ones, like what? They're nowhere near. Yeah, nowhere near there. And you can see the spikes for this purple one, Hell Challenge. I have no idea, but now there's a spike in Vault 7. And it's still not trending. So mainstream media coverage. Note, my review of the mainstream media coverage will consist primarily with the politicized nature of the WikiLeaks, as well as a reaction to the fact that CIA can make hacks appear to be coming from Russia. This is because the media as a whole has reported on the fact that CIA can hack into nearly every device, as exemplified in the article below. Basically, Washington Post is writing about it, then every other mainstream media is pretty much on the same page. I'm only going to talk about the stuff that's being highly politicized, that deals with the possibility that CIA actually hacked the DNC and made it look like it was Russia or something like that. So WikiLeaks, this is from Washington Post. WikiLeaks, the CIA is using popular TV, smartphones, and cars to spy on their owners, and etc. You can go read it. Latest revelations from the U.S. government hacking, powerful hacking tools. The latest revelations about them potentially takes surveillance right into the homes and hip pockets of billions of users worldwide, showing a remarkable variety of everyday devices can be turned to spy on their owner. So they're talking about it as something they can't just ignore. Twitter almost certainly censored the hashtag Vault 7 from the trending list. This was March 7th. This was actually the day after. I believe this is the day after Vault 7. And you can see the search trends. Absolutely nothing. There's Jason Smith, Bruce Chen, Hell Challenge, and Vault 7 was massive, and I actually had a giant stuff, and a lot of people were stating that it was not trending. So you could just search Vault 7 trending back then. It's just nothing there. So now let's look at Wikipedia. I just want to go over the JFK. If you go to Wikipedia and search it, there's no mention of the famous JFK splinter CIA quote, which is just a shame because Wikipedia is usually the first place people look for general information. Yeah, so I wanted to see if that quote was real, and I had to go and just go search through random Google searches or Bing searches or whatever to find this quote. So that's why I hate Wikipedia. It's if there's a better alternative, please let me know. Yeah, because they leave out a lot of very crucial information. So Wikipedia, here's CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. I retrieved this yesterday. The Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, is a civilian foreign intelligence service of the United States government tasked with gathering, processing, and analyzing national security information from around the world, primarily through the use of human intelligence or human as one of the principal members of the U.S. intelligence community, or IC, or ICE, or whatever. The CIA reports to the Director of National Intelligence and is primarily focused on providing intelligence for the President and Cabinet. So this is very interesting to note. Unlike the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, which is a domestic security service, the CIA has no law enforcement function and is mainly focused on overseas intelligence gathering. Alright, so with only limited domestic intelligence collection, though it is not the only U.S. government agency specializing in human, CIA serves as the national manager for coordination of human intelligence activities across the U.S. intelligence community. So it's pretty much the coordinator of all this human intelligence gathering, etc. So moreover, the CIA is the only agency authorized by law to carry out and oversee covert secret action at the behest of the president unless the president determines that another agency is better suited for carrying out such action. It exerts foreign political influence through its tactical divisions such as the Special Activities Unit, but this cannot be understated. The president can tell the CIA to do pretty much whatever with these covert action stuff. So unbelievable. Yeah, so keep that in mind. So also no mention of Vault 7 or WikiLeaks hashtag. Well, when you search that, you have to search like the word leak and try to find that through the reference and stuff. There's zero mention when you search it. Unbelievable. So also go to Vault 7. So Vault 7 is a series of documents that WikiLeaks began to release on March 7th that detailed activities. Yeah, so it was actually March 7th, not March 6th. Yeah, that I did the search trends, so never mind. So March 7th, 2017, that details activity of the United States Central Intelligence Agency to perform electronic surveillance and cyber warfare. The files dated 2013-2016 include details on the agency's software capabilities, such as the ability to compromise smartphones, smart TVs, web browsers, including Firefox, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and the operating systems of most smartphones, including Apple's iOS, Google's Android, as well as other operating systems such as Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. According to WikiLeaks, the source wishes to initiate a public debate about the security, creation, use, proliferation, and democratic control of cyber weapons, since these tools raise questions that urgently need to be debated in public, including whether CIA's hacking capabilities exceed its mandated powers, and the problem of public oversight of the agency. Again, what is control, even if people are controlling it? So going further, according to WikiLeaks, by recycling the techniques of third parties through umbrage, the CIA can not only increase its total number of attacks, but also mislead forensic investigators by disguising these attacks as the work of other groups and nations, including Russia. Note, there's a note that I made, MES. This above paragraph has since been modified to remove the line, including Russia line, because that's what Wikipedia does. Also, the following paragraph was added on today, so I copied and pasted that yesterday, which references the Daily Beast article. And this is here, cybersecurity writers such as Ben Bakchuan and Kevin Paulson were skeptical of these theories. Paulson wrote the leaked catalog isn't organized by country or origin, and a specified malware used by Russian DNC hackers is nowhere on the list. So they're citing writers as sources, not experts, just writers. So here's from the Daily Beast. Just want to go over that. It's just propaganda, in my opinion. So there it is. So Russia turns WikiLeaks CIA attempt into misinformation. Though Russian hackers are the most likely source behind Oh no, are not. Oh, they didn't say it. So are not the most likely source behind Tuesday's WikiLeaks dump. Russia is certainly taking advantage of it with bots spreading false memes. What? I was spreading most of the memes. Anyways, the leaked catalog is... Is this writing news? Okay, anyways, the leaked catalog isn't organized by country of origin. The specific malware used by the Russian DNC hackers is nowhere on the list. Are you going to provide proofs? Needless to say, the documents say nothing about framing another nation's intelligence service, but by the end of the day, the alt-right news, this is... What the hell is alt-right? Breitbart is promoting the false claim. They just said that they could. Okay, anyway. They didn't say that. They alluded that this is a possibility, which is a possibility. Other memes claim falsely. What? The leaks show all Skype conversations are stored in the CIA cloud. No, you can. Word can. This as well. Can. It's all semantics. They say you're not. They disagree with the absolute form of it and then attack it. It's just horrible, horrible, and evil reporting and arguments, or what? Not argument, just logic. They're just propaganda. Are stored in the CIA cloud. That President Obama used CIA hackers to spy on President Trump and cite the CIA's 2014 interest in hacking on board automotive systems as a hint. The agency assassinated Rolling Stone reporter Michael Hastings. So anyways, these memes were spread because that's likely. And yeah, who died in a high-speed car crash? Yeah, high-speed crash in 2013. This is very, very likely. In fact, if you look into it, very likely. I would say almost certainly Michael Hastings was assassinated. That's almost fact. That I believe that Vault 7, the later releases, might be about this because WikiLeaks has been tweeting about him many times. And even this theory is probably plausible as well. It's not Russian bots writing these, it's people like me. So Robert M. Lee, founder of cybersecurity firm Dragos, finds rapidity, consistency, and overwhelming volume of falsehoods suspicious, particularly the meme purporting to vindicate the Kremlin. He suspects that bots have been deployed to push the tall tale on Twitter. That narrative emerged far too quickly to have been... I posted it. I posted this. I posted these memes. I am not a Russian bot. I posted these memes. Me, MES. I am not a bot. See, there is certain narrative terminology and sound bites that are consistent among multiple accounts that usually speaks to some sort of automation and coordination. This is a very misleading, underreporting journalism. Very, very. I'm trying to be objective about this mainstream media coverage on this video, but it's so painful to have to go over these pathetic, disgusting, and evil writing. It is evil once you see what it does to uninformed people. So first of all, this is the only statement that I've seen about the specific DNC malware not being the same. So I have to double check, which is very annoying because the writer could easily have added references. Doesn't, so whatever, prove it. And secondly, he makes the claim that it was Russian DNC hackers, which is nothing more than a conspiracy theory. Yeah, I think I missed out over here. Where was that? Yeah, right here, the specific malware used by the Russian DNC. This is fake. This is I'll just write a false meme to use their own terminology. So this is a false meme because, again, there's no proof, etc. And learn more about the Russian hack myth by watching my earlier video, which I actually made December 12th. This is how you know I'm on the ball. How to spot fake news. Russia hacked the U.S. election. Make sure to watch that. There's the link. It's very good. It was an hour and 10 minutes. You gotta download the notes. It's pretty long to watch double speed, and it's worth it. My videos are long, but if you watch it, you'll gain pretty much scholarly knowledge. So thirdly, he forgets to mention that WikiLeaks has only released less than 1% of their Vault 7 series, and it is obvious that CIA has many more documents that WikiLeaks does not have access to. So he's saying, oh, it wasn't in those WikiLeaks dumps. Who cares? This is less than 1% of it. So there's about 1 million total documents, and this is only about 8,000 is released. So there's near 1 million left to release, and CIA has many more documents. We're talking probably infinitely times more. So they almost certainly have access. So fourthly, Breitbart's false claim is stating the obvious true fact that CIA can mask. If you read the article, they're basically saying the same thing I'm saying. They can mask their hacking operations, thus facilitating false flag operations. This is one of their ability. So, fifthly, claiming that bots are posting memes on Twitter about very obvious and credible arguments and Michael Hastings was assassinated. It is very credible, actually. Obama spying on Trump, Skype. These are all very credible. Skype conversation being stored. Ignore the strongman. Ignore the strawman argument. All Skype conversations in CIA servers. And then again, this is all absolutely pathetic. In fact, I was one that posted a bunch of memes about the CIA fake Russian DNC hacking on my Twitter account. So check it out at Math Easy Solutions, with shortened SOLNS, because it just can't write the full thing. So thus, the possibility that the CIA could mislead forensic investigators into believing the hack, quote hack, came from Russia is very believable, and thus the Daily Beast article is nothing more than propaganda or evil propaganda. Because just tell us the facts. They could, and that's it. That's all you need to do. And now NY Times, let's see what they do. So WikiLeaks releases trove of alleged CIA hacking documents. And look at this trending thing here. Trump advisor had Twitter contact with figure tied to Russians. Hillary sold 20% uranium capacity. Okay, that's all you need to know. And they how the Dutch stopped being decent and dull. They're just attacking anyone. What happens when you fight a deep state that doesn't? Unbelievable. Bill's so bad, it's awesome. Oh man, at least that's something we agree on. Paul Ryan, he should be in jail. But anyways, that's for another time and day. So another program described in the documents named Umbridge is a voluminous library of cyber attack techniques that the CIA has collected from malware produced by other countries, including Russia. This is where WikiLeaks and the Wikipedia included this reference, and then they just removed it. Now they just made it a bit hard to read. According to the WikiLeaks release, the large number of techniques allow the CIA to mask the origin of its attacks and confuse forensic investigators. So the New York Times actually reported that the CIA could mask its cyber attacks as coming from a third party, including Russia. So that is at least somewhat, at least decent reporting. So now we're just going to assume that is true. So we can't just ignore it. Here's from CIA.gov. Let's see what the CIA has to say. So the CIA statement on claims by WikiLeaks. We have no comment on the authenticity of purported intelligence documents released by WikiLeaks or on the status of any investigation into the source of the documents. However, there are several critical points we would like to make. CIA's mission is to aggressively collect foreign intelligence overseas. So they're saying foreign, overseas. Again, why do you need to write overseas if you're saying foreign? It could be, anyways, it could be inside and it's foreign. So to protect America from terrorists, hostile nation states, and other adversary terrorists. It's the keyword to get money from the public, taxpayer money, etc. So it is CIA's job to be innovative, cutting edge, and the first line of defense in protecting this country from enemies abroad. Again, why do they have no comment? If it's true, if it's false, just say it's false. If it's true, this means it's true. True. Because if WikiLeaks is saying they can spy on anyone and everything, and they're purposely making all devices vulnerable to to cyber attacks, so in other words, making the U.S. population and everyone around the world vulnerable to cyber attacks and viruses, and basically privacy gone by anyone, which is a serious claim, which is a claim that you could use to abolish or defund the CIA. So if they would just say it's not true, but they can't because they know it's true. So it is also important to note that CIA is legally prohibited from conducting electronic surveillance targeting individuals. As Snowden said, you can actually do an indirect targeting. This is for another day, I'll explain. Indirect targeting, I'll put that in quotes. So if you're targeting, let's say, Michael Flynn, but you somehow happen to record Trump, that's legal, equals legal, and I'll put this in quotes. Why is it legal? I don't know. Including our fellow Americans, and the CIA does not do so. So they can't target individuals, and CIA does not target them. Oh, semantics. So CIA activities are subject to rigorous oversight to ensure that they comply with U.S. law and the Constitution. The American public should be deeply troubled by any WikiLeaks disclosure designed to damage the intelligence community's ability to protect America against terrorists. You mean the CIA terrorists? CIA. That is, you are making everyone's devices vulnerable. You are a terrorist. And other adversaries, such as disclosures, not only jeopardize U.S. personnel and operations, but also equip their adversaries with tools and information to do us harm. Jeopardize? Just say CIA does not deny the authenticity of the leaks and argues that these kind of leaks jeopardize the United States' ability to fight against terrorists. The CIA also states that it is illegal to spy on individuals, so this makes the rest of the Vault 7 series very interesting, because if they can prove that they were actually spying on them, but then they're probably going to use the wording indirect. But if they can prove that it was direct, this is going to be very, very interesting. So now if you go Google search, just Google search Vault 7. This was yesterday. I screenshot and also put it archived so you can see exactly what I saw. Just to show you, because Google is pretty much search engine that almost everybody uses. Sputnik wrote, this is a Vault 7 leak was an inside job, former CIA deputy director. This is actually, it might not be. And then the worst and best parts of WikiLeaks, a CIA leak. And then the Daily Express, there you have it. Russia behind latest CIA data breach on Julian Assange's. What? You cannot make this stuff up. There's Putin everywhere. Okay, and also there's WikiLeaks.org. It's Twitter, Wall Street Journal, authorities questioning contractors over CIA leaks. Yeah, it might have even been contractors. It does not need to be CIA agent. IETF released a statement on CIA WikiLeaks, CIA leaks, etc. Sean Spicer responds. So whatever. So initially you see, just Google it. There's a giant Russia scare or fake propaganda. Evil propaganda. Remember that. Keep that in mind. It's evil. So now if you search Vault 7 and click the news icon, see what's trending on the news. Fortune worst and best parts. Market Watch, Vault 7 document dumped by WikiLeaks contains no smoking gun. What is going on here? Vault 7 CIA hacking tools revealed, and you have international. So they're talking about the CIA hacking tools, reveal secret hacking tools. There's very, very little talk about the cyber weapons. So cyber weapons is actually very, very, it's like one of the biggest, realist dangers that is around, because anyone that can have access to it can literally spy on or take down pretty much anyone. And then CBC and then mainstream talking about it, the Canadian mainstream should be defunded. But anyways, how the CIA's secret stash of zero-day hacks could leave, etc. They're talking about your device, beware. So here's from that Market Watch one. This Market Watch, this is actually from the Wall Street Journal, so they like share articles or whatever, let them post, or I don't know how that works. So Vault 7 document dumped by WikiLeaks contains no smoking gun showing CIA masquerading as other state actors. Again, this is just semantics. This is masquerading. This is semantics. They're saying they have the ability. This is semantics. This is why I absolutely despise mainstream media. And I critique them because they influence people's opinion. These are everywhere. You Google it, that's there. You don't get alternative media showing on Vault 7. You get these trash piles. Anyways, Washington, the Vault 7 trove of documents released Tuesday by WikiLeaks has been cited by commentators to claim, so again, they've put commentators to claim that the Central Intelligence Agency may have been masquerading as foreign states while conducting its cyber attacks. This is real, yeah, obviously. They may have done it. So the documents being cited, however, offer no smoking gun to what? To a May? These are words. They could. Going further, they say CIA uses techniques to make cyber weapons look like they originate from enemy state. It turns out, turns DNC Russia hacked allegation by CIA into a joke. This is by internet entrepreneur Kim.com. This guy is big. This guy, who wrote after the release he tweeted after releasing a tweet picked up by Zero Hedge, a financial blog known for its anti-establishment worldview. It's just a great site, actually. Zero Hedge, pretty good. Again, they always bash whoever. They just always bash the messenger. .com, who founded the file-sharing mega upload, is wanted in the U.S. on charges including criminal copyright infringement. The CIA shows that you could actually, they allow their people just to hack into Microsoft for free, etc. So they're also copyright infringement. Money laundering, conspiracy to commit racketeering. And he's about to win, actually. Again, they're attacking the messenger, even though Kim.com, he is going to win. Winning. This guy is most likely going to win his case, in my opinion. So conservative commentator Lara and Graham promoted the same line of reasoning in an exchange with Sean Hannity on Fox News, claiming the leaks show U.S. intelligence agencies using countries like Russia as a scapegoat for their own attacks. If you watch that video they talk, it's pretty clear that they could do this. This is obvious. They obviously have that capability. This report previously appeared at wallstreetjournal.com, etc. How do these pathetic journalists sleep at night? This is my opinion. Again, this is MES opinions. This is absolutely horrible reporting. Kim.com, Lauren Graham, Sean Hannity, as well as many other top media people are not claiming that CIA hacked DNC and left Russian fingerprints, but only that stating the obvious, that the CIA has the capacity to do that. Just that is what they have. And given that the then President Obama had the power to request CIA undertake covert tasks, this is not a far-fetched concern either, especially because he campaigned for Hillary. There's also no mention about how the CIA can easily mask their hacking operations to make it look like Russians did it. So in that article, it doesn't even state it. Why? Besides referencing the Kim.com tweet, they just reference indirectly from the Kim.com and then ridicule and mock him. Basically by stating all the allegations that are against him, but again, that's not the time or place, because they're just trying to say that, oh, he's this bad guy, etc. And Zero Hedge is anti-establishment. Obviously they're doing that. So which removes any remaining far-fetched plausibility that Russia hacked the election. Again, so they don't even mention that they can. So the CIA can do that. So now you have to take into account that the CIA can have made it look like Russia did it, so that you would need more evidence. That's all it is. You need to now make it more concrete, as opposed to saying intelligence agencies say Russia hacked it. If the FBI did in fact find digital traces of Russian hacking, then they now need to account for the fact that it could have been the CIA, if under the request of President Obama, etc., or anyone else that stumbled upon the loose, unclassified cyber malware weapon. So again, it's just loose weapons. Anyone could have grabbed it. It could be Obama, it could be some random people telling to do this, or no, doing it, or it could be Obama telling it. If you don't believe that, it could be just some random person who has it wanting to blame Russia. or there was actually no hack, which is almost certain, just a leak. Unclassified cyber weapons unleashed by the CIA through the internet. So again, it's already unclassified malware weapons. Like in the internet, anyone could just take it and just code, and then you become the CIA yourself. So yes, the DNC Russia hack allegation is more of a joke than previously thought could be possible, and that's Kim.com's tweet is pretty accurate. So go to the Express. Russia behind latest CIA breach on Julian Assange's WikiLeaks. Russia was behind the latest CIA data dump on WikiLeaks. Experts said last night with some warning that Britain's security services might be the next target. This is Marco Gigilano exclusive. This is so when you Google it, this shows up. Well, it at least did for me. Experts reveal Russia was behind. Can't even say that properly. So, anyways, Tuesday's data release comes as the CIA investigates Donald Trump's connection. What alleged connection? Alleged, or like just overblown. How do you spell alleged? Alleged connection to Putin, the Kremlin, and Russian hacking during everything's alleged during the election campaign. It's all about Russia. Showing that the CIA is just as bad. Sorry, hard to read this without laughing. Said Dr. Andrew Foxell, director of the Russian Center at the Henry Jackson Institute think tank. The more classified information contained in Vault 7 showed that the CIA has produced more than 1,000 malware systems, viruses, Trojans, and other software that can infiltrate and take control of targeted electronics, including smart televisions. It is especially embarrassing because it exposes classified information of the CIA Center for Cyber Intelligence, the unit assigned by President Obama to respond to fears that Russia interfered in last year's presidential election. Again, yeah, fears that. At least they state it's fears. Analysts are not convinced that the WikiLeaks has a pro-Russian agenda, added Dr. Foxell, director of the Russia Center, the Henry Jackson Institute think tank. There's a Russia Center? And you're asking the guy about a Russia Center? Yeah, obviously it's Russia. Oh man, I haven't had a good laugh like this in a while. Anyways, Julian Assange this week denied the criticism, labeling his operation as a neutral, which is obvious. He's neutral, but he also obviously despises the CIA, which every person should by their action. Neutral digital Switzerland, that's what they are trying to be. However, critics were skeptical of his claim that he had been given the documents by a former U.S. government hacker to begin public debate into hacking. So who's skeptical? So, however, critics. I'm not a critic. That's obvious. The CIA is getting way too powerful. The documents contain 75,000 redactions. These were codes that would also affect Russia's security, Dr. Vox. Julian Assange says that because they want to know more about it. They don't want to put anyone's personal name or IP address out in the public. Because of some of the data was relatively fresh, it is unlikely it had been in the pipeline for a while, and Assange's team is small. The logical conclusion is that the data was already, given those are already redacted. This is the work of a sophisticated team, and it fits entirely into a pattern of behavior demonstrated by Russia in the past. Oh man, 75,000. They have a decent team, and this is and they're like, this is pretty much all they do. This is a giant leak. 75,000 is not much. Anyways, let's see my commentary on this pathetic article. Ha ha. This is one of the most pathetic and disgusting and evil, but mostly pathetic. Because if anyone can't see through this, it's just ridiculous. Articles that I've ever read, albeit extremely comical. Let's get some memes in here. Bots? Let me put a question. Bots memes? Did bots make these memes? Or so world leaders reach agreement. So it's all agreed then. Whatever the question, we answer it's the Russians. There's Merkel. There's that British guy. There's Obama. There's Kerry. And this is from David Icke, the famous reptilian conspiracy guy. He has some good points about many things, which is quite fascinating. More than these world leaders. With quotation, I'll put leaders in quotation marks. What are these? And there's a button you can blame Russia when in doubt. Everyone I don't like is a Russian hacker. The emotional child's guide to avoid taking responsibility for your crimes. That awkward moment when you rig the DNC and lose, rig the debates and lose, rig the vote and lose, rig the news and lose, rig the recount and lose even more, threaten electors and lose even more, blame Russia, and nobody believes you. Just Putin on my glasses. Let's see who the real Russian hackers are, and there's the CIA. Also, article has no mention of the CIA's ability to mask their hacking abilities to appear as if the Russia was doing. So they didn't even include that part in, which again, if you're a neutral, unbiased reporter, you got to include that to see why these people are saying could have been CIA. Now let's look at the comments of that article just to get some actual news and a glimpse of why the mainstream media wants to remove/censor comments on their articles. You can see this guy Spike1234 fake news. Obama wanted to blame Russia. You mean like they have done for the last few years, and now and more CIA are the bad guys, and all this under orders from Obama, and whoever pulls his strings, Russia hacks, yes, but so does every other country. But this exposed crisis is all about how the CIA spy on you, not Russia. No, the facts or the info comes from within the CIA, just as Vault 7 was. We are awake. Goes on and on. What is that? I think he mentioned New World Order, etc. Agree they're running scared. Let's hope they all go to jail, and hopefully they all do go to jail. Show some proof. I bet you can't. It's Russia. What a load of flannel by Ellis with a picture of Vaseline. Yep. True news. That is true. So as usually, it is mostly alternative, aka true media, that provides good coverage. Just take a look. Here's a Google search. If you Google search Vault 7 fingerprint, to show that they're actually talking about the fingerprints, there's the WikiLeaks, Zero Hedge. There's the anti-establishment site that they're again mocking them. What? Because they report real news that they could leave fingerprints around. So yeah, so that is talking about. And there's the anti-media. I've never heard of this, and they're capable of cyber false flag to blame Russia. That's obvious. If you go to search fingerprints with an S, there's Zero Hedge there. Sputnik News. Again, people will say, oh, it's a Russia site. Who cares? They're writing proper stuff. They're talking about the fingerprints. If you saw my last video, I went over the press release, went over the fingerprints that they could talk about. And then again, these are important things to include. And luckily, USA Today mentioned fingerprints, which is just a quick one. And also Reddit. Forums are very good. Crowdsource, HiveMind. To get information. Now, if you search fingerprints quotation marks and then also in the news section to see who's writing about Sputnik's there, USA Today. I believe this is WikiLeaks highly cited. Well, that's Google tells highly cited because obviously it's WikiLeaks. And also Sky News, I think they included as well. LiveZ, Newsweek blames Snowden and Manning for the CIA leak. What is wrong with these people? These physical fingerprints are not on it this time. So again, that's what they use fingerprints for, not that the CIA can change their fingerprints. So blame Snowden and Manning. Unbelievable. Paste Magazine, conservative media jumps on conspiracy theory that makes no sense. Oh man, unbelievable. So Business Insider, I'll see what they write. Conservative media figures are embracing a wild WikiLeaks conspiracy theory that the CIA hacked the DNC, then framed Russia. No, they're saying this is possible. This is very easy to do for the CIA. They can freaking hack your computer when it's turned off or your TV and spy on you like George Orwell. Anyways, it didn't take even 48 hours for an online conspiracy theory to make its way from the reply section of the WikiLeaks Twitter. That was me. That's me, so you check it out. To the primetime airways on Fox News and other top conservative radio programs. On Tuesday, WikiLeaks released a batch of apparent CIA documents describing the agency's extensive cybersecurity and hacking capabilities, which appear to allow agents to hack into a variety of smart internet-connected devices. There's Sean Hannity poses for photographs as he sits on the set of the news show Hannity at the Fox News channel, etc. Going on, let's just see some highlights from this just ridiculous article. The CIA, according to the WikiLeaks leaks, uses stolen malware to attribute cyber attacks to nations like Russia. Hannity told WikiLeaks. This is official. This is correct info. So Hannity told listeners proper information. That's strange. That's I thought. That's strange to the Business Insider. Why is Hannity telling them true news? Yeah, it's probably not used to that. So anyways, in other words, what they're saying is the CIA can actually blame Russia for an attack on an American because they'll put their fingerprints on all over the attack. Meanwhile, it came from within. So that's an interesting theory. Good theory, because CIA is quite powerful. So good theory. Very, very reasonable. Unlike the Russian hacked election one, which is just complete baloney. So former National Security Agency whistleblower William Binney, who quit the NSA over a decade ago amidst distaste with the agency's surveillance program, said it was possible for the CIA to carry out the act described by conspiracy theorists for making not even if they're just saying they could do that. That's all they're saying. But cited little evidence to support his claim. The NSA guy says, whistleblower, he says they can do it. That's all you need. Little evidence, he's saying. That's whatever, that's reporting for you. What's your counter evidence? Nothing. Yeah, just to compare the difference. So now they're saying, but cited little evidence to support his claim. Let's go back up to that memes one. I gotta show that. It's just absolutely nasty. Where is it? Russia behind. Yeah, this one. Russia behind CIA. Latest one. Let's go to the bots one and then do that. Where is the bots one? Scroll up to the bots. So yeah, So with bots spreading false memes, and there's a guy that says it. Why don't they say that? Why doesn't Daily Beast say that? They provided little evidence. You just said. Oh man, let's go to that other one. I'm just going back and forth because they're putting it in their headlines, saying that oh no, this was a smoking gun one. That's just the. Let's go back up. Yeah, like this one. The guy just says it could be Russia. Now they put it out in their headline, and now someone just says, now an NSA expert whistleblower says Russia can do that. Now you have a little tiny side note in your article saying, he said it, but he didn't provide evidence. The double standards, the bad writing, unbelievable. I just don't know what this is. This is just propaganda. So retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, a torture advocate who was floated Benghazi 9/11 conspiracy theories in the past, took it a step further, claiming he had unnamed sources ascribing the conspiracy to him. That's interesting. So, yeah, because 9/11 is almost certainly, if you're looking into the data, it's almost certainly inside job. I'm not sure why people are debating that anymore. Yeah, that's almost certainly true. And Benghazi, yeah, that's probably as well. Once you realize the mainstream media is just propaganda, everything falls in place. So right-wing sites, now they call them right-wing for telling obvious facts. We weren't the only ones spreading the theory. It was picked up by Russia state-sponsored English media outlets like Sputnik for actually writing proper information, which gleefully mocked evidence-free accusations that Russia hacked the election, which is true. It is evidence-free, linking to tweets chock full of sarcasm and memes about the CIA capabilities. Bots? Were these bots again, or is it just? It's probably me. I was probably tweeting about it. So anyways, Russia Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov again denied Russia's involvement in the 2016 election, pointing to the WikiLeaks documents on Thursday and noting the CIA could access to such fingerprints. Oh, there isn't including fingerprints, and then use them. But if they quote the Russian guy. So the Russian guy, foreign minister, is bringing more truthful news than Business Insider. So going further, indeed, the top U.S. national security figures have noted the argumentative consistency on numerous topics between Russian state-sponsored media outlets and right-leaning. So if you're common sense, if you and Russia are using common sense, then you're tied to them and right-leaning and state-sponsored media outlets. Like Breitbart and Drudge Report and Hannity. So this argumentative consistency should be replaced with common sense. Okay, wink face. I didn't have the wink face. This is common sense. There are powerful parallels between the Russian narrative and things being said. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden. Obviously, CIA, they're blaming Russia. This is almost, so they're blaming Russia as well. CIA is blaming Russia and saying that no, we didn't make it seem like it was Russia, but they're blaming Russia for these memes being made and these theories being made. Told Business Insider in an interview this week, the specter of last summer's leak still hangs over many current and former DNC staffers. The hack embarrassed many top staffers, exposing some staffers' distaste for Senator Bernie Sanders' campaign and forcing resignation of many top staffers, including Donna Brazile. Oh, no, this was not the staffer. This was a CNN worker. I believe it wasn't staffer then. But regardless, she had to resign from something. Well, I think it was CNN. So many of the remaining staffers felt targeted. Yeah, actually, it was her. She did have to resign eventually. Felt targeted, saying they experienced death threats following the incident. But yeah, I don't believe she was a staffer then. I'll just double check. But regardless, she resigned from CNN. So it was a campaign that I've never experienced before, and I have 7 presidential campaigns under my belt. When I assumed the chair role, I assumed, well, this will only take a couple months out of my life, and I'll be going out to being Donna. Yeah, so it was a staffer, actually. So she was a staffer. Everything's jumbled up. They just gotta be more accurate. So I'll go back to being Donna, but it transformed me. Former DNC chair Donna Brazile told Business Insider, I've never gone up against a foreign military intelligence unit. She's blaming Russia. Russia, stop doing things. I don't want to take responsibility for my actions. Brazile said, I don't think no campaign manager, no one in my position had ever had to fight against a weaponization of misinformation. You gave debate questions to Hillary. To have your files corrupted and then corrupted. They just took it. They didn't corrupt it. This is false. False. and then to be used as a form of weaponization to sue Discord. Wow, so no, Donna Brazile was caught handing debate questions to Hillary, thus forcing her to be removed, resigned from CNN. Donna deserves little sympathy for her corrupt practices outside the alleged death threats, of course, if she had that, which no one should endure. Yeah, so outside of that's obviously, I'll point that out, even though this is ridiculous. So note also, why does no one ask why Hillary didn't let the public know why she was being handed debate questions? She was cheating. It's cheating on her exam, and no one's saying anything. But the rush. So notice how I include this note, which is way more damning, saying that Donna Brazile is lying and lying about this, and that she gave debate questions to Hillary. That's why. It's not the weaponization or whatever. And notice how I include this. Business Insider doesn't include this. And let's go back up again. And yeah, let's go back to that Wall Street Journal Market Watch article. And let's see, where did they attack? Yeah, this one here. They basically attack Zero Hedge, saying they're anti-establishment, just to include that. That's why they're against U.S. They're kind of saying, and now they go after .com. They include that he's in a lawsuit right now in the U.S. on charges including copyright, etc., criminal copyright. You have to add these words. And racketeering or whatever, but again, he should win because it's just being attacked for no reason, in my opinion, no decent reason. But they don't include Business Insider doesn't include the Donna Brazile. Why don't you let the readers know or remind them that she is very, very, very corrupt? So is Hillary Clinton. So this isn't the first time that WikiLeaks has inspired and stoked conspiracy theory about the DNC hacks. Again, conspiracy theory. This is I'm gonna do a video on this later. I believe it's CIA pushed that to discredit anyone seeking truthful news about anything. So last August, the organization offered a bounty for information about Seth Rich, a DNC staffer shot while walking home last July. This is by the WikiLeaks. While online conspiracy theorists speculated that his death was connected to DNC hack, Washington's MPD spokesperson told Business Insider at the time that there was no evidence connecting Rich's death to his work at DNC. Well, obviously they're not gonna say that. If it was an assassination, they're obviously gonna comply with the powerful people who assassinated him, which he almost certainly did. This was the leaker. This is most likely leaker, and he was most likely killed. And it wasn't a hack. Hack? No, most likely. Most likely, just in case someone looks at it or they do a hit piece on me, which is good. I'll get some exposure. The hit pieces don't work. You have to realize that. They're just bad for business. Well, they're bad if you cave in. If you just go back after them and say, what the hell's wrong with you? You're doing good. So just like other mainstream media news outlets, Business Insider is reporting as if they are in damage control for the CIA. Yes, CIA has probably infiltrated them, most likely. Defending known corrupt individuals in Donna Brazile and ridiculing anyone that provides very reasonable arguments as conspiracy theories. Even this one, Seth Rich, was almost certainly the leaker. All the while, they pushed the biggest conspiracy theory of all, Russia hacked the election. No, Seth Rich most likely was frustrated that the DNC was rigging it against the Bernie Sanders campaign. And Don Brazile even had to resign from CNN, and how many campaign managers were resigned? That Debbie Wasserman Salt or something. So now another thing, if you go search on Google, search Vault 7 proliferation, Wikipedia includes that quote. Zero Hedge does an absolute great writing on there on the extreme proliferation risk, so check that out. And now you have Collective Evolution, Fizz.org, Daily Wire. So global research, they include it. Uncontrollable Ron Paul talking about it. Yeah, alternative media. So also very few mainstream media outlets focus on the extreme proliferation risks of these loose, unclassified cyber weapons unleashed on the internet. So a teenager, if he's smart, he can have access to it and hack whatever, and then pretend like he's CIA, pretending to be China, to mask as Russia, to hack the DNC, which again was probably Seth Rich, leaked and killed. The article by Zero Hedge is a very good, it's very good, so make sure to check that out. Just putting a shout out to it. Zero Hedge provides some of its articles are on point and reference to the T. So, summary and conclusions. It is clear that the mainstream media at large has completely underreported the bombshell Vault 7 leaks, but at no time do they deny it, nor does the CIA itself deny it. So again, Fox News did report it, but if you Google, it's not there. So that's ridiculous. That's how people get their news mostly. So again, mostly right-leaning are talking about it. So this shows the importance of reading the source and not relying on any news source. If the news is talking about WikiLeaks, then go to wikileaks.org, read for yourself, and decide which news outlets report truthfully about Vault 7. Don't take my word for it, just go and check yourself. Also, it is clear that many of the mainstream are quick to attack and label anyone and everything a conspiracy theorist. Again, I believe that's a CIA declassified document stating their tactics to attack people questioning government. So for raising the obvious point that CIA has a capability to hack pretty much anything. They can hack anything. That's true. While making it appear the hacks were coming from a foreign entity, including Russia, and then Wikipedia changed removing that. Or just, if you check it out now, it's just like gumbled up, and they don't include that, including Russia line, which is more telling than most things. So also, very few mainstream media outlets focus on the very important proliferation of cyber weapons risks that the loose, unclassified nature that the CIA imposed on the weapons in order to place them through the internet. This gives rise to the possibility that someone can gain possession of these loose malware cyber weapons or may have already done so. Unbelievable. But wait, there's more. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Twitter, there's a link to Twitter, WikiLeaks tweet. WikiLeaks has released less than 1% of its Vault 7, hashtag Vault 7 series in its Part 1 publication yesterday. Quote, year 0, and math easy solutions, and then I reply, as always, this is me. Is this a bot? Bot? I don't know. Let's ask that Daily Beast. WikiLeaks released the rest of the 99%, or in other words, the 650 emails of Anthony Weiner's D-pics. Hashtag expensive hot dog parties, hashtag Pizzagate, hashtag pedogate. Anyways, Vault 7 year 0 has 8,761 documents, which means that there are a total of approximately, that's when you double check it, is 8,000. Approximately 1 million total documents, so we've only got a tiny less than 1%. Hashtag wow. Comment and let me know what you think the rest of the Vault 7 leaks will be. Hopefully it's emails or some sort of crazy other stuff so we can actually get some justice and put many of these alleged war criminals that's been killing people around the world in jail. So last but not least, the information war will be fought and won through meme warfare. Meme warfare, more powerful than cyber warfare, more powerful than nuclear warfare, because this changes minds. This is more powerful than mainstream media. This quickly changes mind, because if it's funny, it's funny. Doesn't matter if they don't share your political affiliation or don't agree with you. It's just funny. So yes, anyway, that's all for today. It's a very long video, gone through a bunch of these, and I couldn't go through all of the mainstream media stuff because it's just ridiculous. There's very few mainstream media that report properly. I just did the ones, let me Google search, see what's there, and it's just pathetic and evil. Remember that, it's evil. It affects minds, especially if it's teenager's mind is doing it growing up or he's in school. And then they believe Russia's hacking. They're scared of Russia. It's just, what is happening? So anyway, that's all for you to learn. And you can download these exact notes in the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another math easy solution.